Hi, everyone. Welcome back to EasyTalk English. It's really nice to have you here today, wherever you're listening from. I hope you're feeling relaxed, maybe sitting comfortably, maybe just taking a small break from your day.
Hi, friends. I'm Alex, and I'm happy you're here with us again. This already feels like one of those calm English moments where you don't need to rush. Just slow down a bit and enjoy the conversation.
Alex, before we start, let me ask you something simple. How was your day yesterday? Was it busy, quiet, or somewhere in the middle?
Honestly, it was a mix of both. I had work in the morning, then in the afternoon, I decided to take a short walk to clear my head. It wasn't anything special, but it felt really good.
That sounds nice, actually. Yesterday was quite calm for me, too, so I stayed home, made some coffee, and took some time just to rest. Sometimes those simple days are the best ones.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you know what's interesting, Linda? We're just talking about normal life, but we already use a lot of English without trying too hard. It feels very natural.
Exactly. And I just noticed something. You said you took a walk, and I said I took some time to rest. We didn't plan that at all, but the word take just appeared.
You're right. Wow. We also say take a break, take some coffee, take a moment, all the time. We use this word so naturally that we don't even stop to think about it.
And that's why today's topic is so useful. The word take is just one small word, but it shows up everywhere in daily life, from work to travel to relaxing at home. It's always there.
Yes, and many learners feel confused because one word seems to have many meanings. But the truth is, native speakers don't stop and translate take in their heads. We don't think first, we just feel which word sounds right in that situation.
That's such an important point. For me, take is not really about the action itself, it's more about the situation you're in. Are you talking about travel, rest, time, responsibility, or daily habits? Once you feel the situation, take often comes naturally.
I totally agree. When I say take a break or take the bus, I'm not thinking about the meaning of the word at all. I'm thinking about my day, my plan, or what I need to do next. The word just fits the moment.
And this is where many learners make things harder than they need to be. They try to remember one perfect translation for take, but English doesn't really work like that. English often uses feeling and habit, not word-for-word logic.
Right. And that's why take appears in so many different actions. You take a shower, take medicine, take time, take a job, take a photo. These actions look different, but they all sound natural to native speakers.
So if you're listening right now and feeling a little overwhelmed, that's completely normal. You don't need to remember every possible use of take. Even native speakers don't think about it in that way.
Exactly. The goal is not to memorize a long list. The goal is to get comfortable with the most common groups of meaning. Once you know those, your brain starts to relax, and English feels much lighter.
Think of it like this. Instead of asking, what does take mean exactly? Try asking, in this situation, what do people usually say? That small change in thinking makes a big difference.
And over time, you will notice patterns without forcing them. You'll hear take again and again in daily life, in movies, at work, or in conversations. Slowly, it starts to feel normal.
So let's take the pressure off right now. You don't need to know everything today. In the next parts, we'll focus only on the most useful, most common ways people use take in real life.
Yes, step by step, situation by situation. Just listen, feel, and try a little at a time. That's how real English grows, and that's exactly what we're doing together today.
Now let's move into the meaning of take that feels the most comfortable and safe for many learners. This is the physical meaning, where you can really see the action in your mind. When you hear it, you can imagine hands moving, objects being picked up, or things coming with you.
Yes, this is usually the first meaning people learn, and that's a good thing. When you take a book, you pick it up. When you take your phone, you hold it. or grab it before you leave. It's very clear, very visual, and very real.
Exactly. Think about your morning for a moment. You wake up, and before you leave the house, you probably take your phone, take your keys, and maybe take your bag. You're not thinking about grammar at all. You're just moving through your day.
That's such a good example. I do the same thing every morning without noticing the language. I take my phone from the table, take my keys from the drawer, and take my bag from the chair. English is already happening even before coffee.
And this meaning of take also works when you bring something with you to another place. For example, if it looks like rain, you take an umbrella. You don't leave it behind, you bring it with you because you might need it.
Right. Or when you go to work, you might take food to work or take lunch with you. In your mind, the movement is very clear. The item starts at home and goes with you to another place.
This is where learners sometimes ask about the difference between take and bring. We won't go deep into grammar, but here's a simple feeling. When something goes away from where you are now, you often use take. When something comes toward you, people often use bring.
Yes, but don't stress about that too much. Native speakers don't stop and think about rules. We just think about where we are and where the thing is going. If you're leaving, you take things with you.
Let's imagine a very normal morning. You're getting ready for work. You take a shower, then you take your phone, take your keys, and take your bag. Before you walk out, you see dark clouds, so you take an umbrella too.
That picture is perfect because you can really see it. And that's why this meaning of take is the easiest one to start with. You don't need to translate it. You just imagine the action and say the word.
This meaning of take is also very useful when giving simple instructions. Someone might say, "Please take a seat," or "Take this paper and read it." The action is clear and the language feels natural.
And the best part is, you can use this meaning today, right after listening. When you leave your house, say it in your head or out loud. I take my phone. I take my keys. I take my bag. That's real practice.
So if you're learning English and want a strong foundation, start here. Take as pick up, hold, or bring with you is simple, visual, and very common.
Once this meaning feels comfortable, everything else becomes easier. You're not guessing anymore. You're seeing English in your daily life, and that's exactly how confidence grows.
Now we're moving into a part that gives many learners a real aha moment. This is where take is used with daily activities and things we experience or consume. It might feel strange at first, but this is very natural, very spoken English.
Yes, and once you notice it, you start hearing it everywhere. We say, take a shower, take a break, take a nap, and take medicine. These are things we do almost every day, but English chooses the verb take instead of something more logical.
That's the key idea right there. In these cases, take is not about holding something in your hand. It's more about receiving or experiencing an action. You don't do a shower. You step into the experience of it.
Exactly. When I say take a shower, I'm talking about the whole experience, the water, the time, the feeling of getting clean. The same thing happens with take a break. You're not making something, you're allowing yourself to rest.
This is where many learners make very common mistakes, and that's totally okay. You might hear someone say, do a shower or make a break, because that feels logical. But English doesn't always follow logic, it follows habit and feeling.
Right, and native speakers don't think about why. We just know what sounds right. So instead of do a shower, we say take a shower. Instead of make a break, we say take a break. Once you hear it enough, it sticks.
Let's slow down and imagine a normal day again. You wake up in the morning and take a shower. Later, after working or studying for a while, you feel tired, so you take a break. Maybe in the afternoon, you're really sleepy, so you take a nap.
And if you're not feeling well, you take medicine. You don't focus on the pill itself, you focus on receiving help or care. That's why take fits so well here.
I really want learners to hear this clearly. This use of take is not formal English. It's not textbook English. It's the kind of English people use when they talk about real life, real routines, and real feelings.
Yes, if you say take a break at work, everyone understands you immediately. If you say, I need to make a break, people might understand, but it sounds unnatural. Small changes like this make your English sound much more natural.
And the good news is, you don't need to memorize long rules. You just need to notice patterns. Take plus activity is a very strong and useful pattern in English.
Once you start using it, your English becomes smoother. You stop translating from your first language and start speaking from experience. That's a big step forward.
So if you're listening and thinking, oh, I've said do a shower before, don't worry at all. That's part of learning. From today, just try to switch to take a shower and take a break.
Exactly. Be kind to yourself. Spoken English grows through small corrections and daily use. And this meaning of take is one you can practice immediately, every single day.
Once this starts to feel natural, you'll notice something amazing. English stops feeling like a school subject and starts feeling like a real tool for daily life.
And that's the moment when learning becomes enjoyable. You're not forcing the language anymore. You're living in it, one small phrase at a time.
Now let's talk about a meaning of take that helps you speak about life in a much calmer and more mature way. This is when take is used with time, effort, or energy. Once you understand this part, English feels softer and less stressful.
Yes, this one is very powerful because we use it to talk about process, not results. When we say it takes time, we're not complaining. We're simply saying that something needs space and patience to happen.
Exactly. Think about learning English itself. Instead of saying English is hard, you can say learning English takes time. That sentence already sounds kinder, more realistic, and more supportive to yourself.
I love that example because it changes your mindset. When you say it takes time, you sound patient and understanding. You accept that progress doesn't need to be fast to be real.
And this works for so many parts of daily life. For example, it takes effort to build a new habit, or it takes energy to stay focused after a long day. You're not judging yourself. You're just describing the process.
Right, and native speakers use this all the time without thinking. I often say things like, it takes time to get used to a new job, or it takes effort to change your routine. It sounds natural and honest.
Let's bring this into very real situations. Think about commuting. You might say, it takes me 30 minutes to get to work. You're not stressed, you're just stating how long the process is.
Yes, and the same with cooking. After a long day, you might say, cooking dinner takes a lot of energy. That sentence explains your feeling without sounding negative or dramatic.
I really like how take removes pressure from the sentence. You're not saying something is impossible or too hard. You're saying it simply needs time, effort, or energy, and that's very human.
That's such a good point. When you use take like this, you give yourself permission to go slowly. You're not rushing life, and your English reflects that calm attitude.
This is also very useful when talking about goals. You can say, it takes time to feel confident, or it takes effort to improve. These sentences sound mature and realistic, especially in conversations about work or learning.
And people usually understand you very clearly. Nobody expects fast results when you say it takes time. Instead, they hear patience and commitment in your voice.
I want learners to notice something important here. This use of take helps you talk about the journey, not just the destination. English becomes a way to explain life, not to judge it.
Yes, and that's why this meaning is so valuable for A2 to B1 learners. You don't need complex grammar to sound thoughtful. One simple structure already does the job.
So next time you feel tired, busy, or slow, try using take. Say, it takes time, it takes effort, or it takes energy. You'll notice how gentle and natural your English feels.
And more importantly, how gentle you feel with yourself. That's the beauty of real English. It doesn't push you, it supports you while you move forward, step by step.
Now let's move into a meaning of take that you hear all the time when people talk about travel and social life. This is where English starts to sound very natural and very everyday. You don't explain these phrases, you just use them at the right moment.
Yes, especially with travel. We always say take a bus, take a train, or take a taxi. We're not thinking about the verb at all. We're thinking about how we move from one place to another.
Exactly. For example, you might say, I take the bus to work every day, Or, I took a train to visit my family last weekend. These sentences are simple, but they are extremely common in daily conversations.
And for longer trips, we say, take a flight. I never think about why it's take, I just know that's the phrase. That's how spoken English works. It's about habit, not analysis.
Now let's shift from travel to social English, because take is also very important there. For example, when someone gives you advice, you can say, I'll take your advice. That sounds calm, polite, and respectful.
Yes, and when someone says something nice to you, you don't push it away. You take a compliment. You smile, you say thank you, and you accept it naturally.
There's also a stronger and more mature use. Take responsibility. When you say that, it sounds honest and confident. You're not blaming others. You're showing that you can handle the situation.
That's such a powerful phrase, and it's used a lot at work or in serious conversations. And again, no one explains it. You just hear it and start using it.
Now, let's talk about some very common spoken phrases with take. These are the ones you hear all the time in real conversations. First, take care. We say this when someone is leaving or when we want to show kindness.
Yes, it's friendly and warm. Another one is take it easy. You say this when someone looks stressed or tired. It means relax, don't worry too much.
Then there's take your time. This one is very polite. You use it when you don't want someone to feel rushed. It shows patience and respect.
And one of my favorites is take a look. It's so casual. If you want someone to see something, you just say, take a look at this. No pressure. Very natural.
What's important here is this. You don't need to explain these phrases or translate them word by word. You just need to notice when people use them and copy that feeling.
Exactly. When you use take in travel and social situations, your English suddenly sounds more relaxed and confident. That's because these phrases live in real life.
So don't worry about remembering everything. Just start with 1 or 2 phrases and use them when the moment feels right.
Little by little, take becomes part of your natural English. You stop thinking and start speaking, and that's when English really comes alive.
All right. Before we say goodbye, let's slow down and gently review what we learned today. Not like a test, not like school, just a calm recap so everything feels clear and comfortable in your mind. Today, we saw that take is not one small word with one meaning, but a word that lives everywhere in daily life.
Yes, and we can group it into 4 big friendly ideas. First, take for physical actions, like take your phone, take the keys, or take a book. This is the easiest one because you can see it and feel it with your hands.
Second, take for daily activities and consumption. This is where English sounds very natural, like take a shower, take a break, take a nap, or take medicine. You're not focusing on the action itself, but on the experience.
Third, take for time, effort, and process. We say it takes time, it takes effort, or it takes energy. This helps us talk about life more gently, without pressure, especially when we talk about learning, working, or growing.
And fourth, take for travel and social English. We take a bus, take a train, take a flight. We also take advice, take a compliment, and take responsibility. These phrases help your English sound calm, polite, and very real.
Now let's practice a little together, very softly, just to let the language flow. You can say it out loud or quietly in your head. First one, I take. For example, I take my phone every morning. Now you try with something from your life.
Next one, it takes. For example, it takes time to learn English, or it takes me 10 minutes to get to work. Again, think about your own day and say it naturally.
And the last one, I usually take. Maybe I usually take the bus, or I usually take a short break in the afternoon. These small sentences are real English. They come from your life, not from a textbook.
So here's our question of the day for you. What do you take every day? And how long does it take you to learn English or practice English each day? There is no right or wrong answer. Your life is the perfect answer.
If you feel comfortable, Write your answer in the comments. That's already English practice. And if today's lesson felt familiar, like, oh, I hear this all the time, you can give this video a like.
And if you want to keep learning English through real life and real conversations, don't forget to subscribe to EasyTalk English. We're here to learn slowly, calmly, and together.
Remember, English is not about rules. It's about real life. Take your time, take it easy, and we'll see you in the next episode.